system. Okay, we'll see the remaining part of this digestive system. That means today we'll see about the small intestine. Okay, if you see this small intestine, it's a body's major digestive system. Okay, this organ you will call it as a major digestive organ. Okay, and it's a site of nutrient absorption into the blood. Mainly, it's having the muscular tube that is extending from the pyloric sphincter to the ileocecal valve. Okay, if you see totally the stomach. Okay, previous class we had seen about the stomach. Okay, the last part is the pylorus, right? See, from the pyloric sphincter to the ileocecal valve. Okay, which is a muscular tube. Totally, this you will call it as a small intestine. It is going to be suspended from the posterior abdominal wall, mainly by the mesenteries. Clear, she already told you what is meant by a mesentery also. This mesentery is going to be, okay, suspended, okay, which is holding this small intestine in the posterior abdominal wall. And if you see the totally this small intestine is about 6 meters long, and it is approximately 2.5 to 3 centimeters in diameter. If you see totally this small intestine, the diameter will be 2.5 to 3 centimeters in diameter, and the surface area, okay, of this small intestine, which is around 30 square meters. Clear? See, as this picture, if you see in the central part, okay, the folded, okay, tube like structure, see that you will call it as a small intestine. See, as it is having many folds, so it is having the higher increased surface area. Clear? See, because of foldings, which is going to be increasing the surface area. Suppose if you are removing that folds, okay, now you can count it 6 meters means how much long it will be, the small intestine, right? And if you see, the length is going to be greater in case of males, okay, than in case of the females. And it is going to be receiving the bile juices and pancreatic juice through the pancreatic duct, okay, that is controlled by the sphincter of OD. Okay, you remember that one sphincter, okay, that is going to be controlling this bile juices and the pancreatic juices that is coming from this pancreatic duct, that we will call it as a sphincter of OD. Okay, and next one is we are also having one more sphincter, you will call it as ileocecal sphincter. Okay, see, this is a transition between the small and the large intestine. Clear? See, between these small intestine and the large intestine, between you are also having one sphincter, you will known as a ileocecal sphincters. And next, coming to the histology of this small intestine here. See, like the stomach, if you see these small intestine, which is also having different types of cells which is performing the different functions, like plicae. Okay, see, what is this plicae? That is the transverse folds of this intestinal lining. Okay, the lining of this intestine, which is having the folds, we will call it as a plicae, and which is also having the villi. Okay, the finger like projections of the mucosa is known as a villi, and lacteals, okay, it is a terminal lymphatic in villus, and also having two types of glands, that is intestinal glands and the duodenal glands. Okay, another name for this duodenal glands is the Brunner's glands. Okay, see, these intestinal glands that is lined by enteroendocrine goblets and stem cells. Okay, next one is if you see these duodenal glands, we will also call it as a Brunner glands, that is going to be produces the mucus, buffers and urogastrons. Okay, these are the different compounds that are going to be produced by these duodenal glands. And next, if you see the subdivisions of the small intestine, see again the small intestine is divided into three different parts, that is duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Okay, if you see this duodenum, that is 25 centimeters, and the jejunum that is 2.5 meters, and the ilium is 3.5 meters. See totally how much? Clear. See, already told you the total, okay, length of the intestine, okay, that has been divided into three different parts, that is duodenum, jejunum, and the ilium. Okay, duodenum, that is 25 centimeters, jejunum is 2.5 meters. See here, it's the smallest part is the duodenum, okay, that is 25 centimeters, and the remaining jejunum, that is 2.5 meters, and the ilium is 3.5 meters, right? And if you see this duodenum, okay, the yellow color part in this picture represents the duodenum, okay, and the purple color, the blue color, sorry, represents the jejunum, and the violet color represents the ilium here. And the duodenum, the mainly if you see, that is attached to the stomach, and which is going to be curves around the head of the pancreas, okay, and it is going to be fixed retroperitoneal structures, okay. And if you see this jejunum, that is attaches anteriorly to the duodenum, and this ilium, that is extends from the jejunum to the large intestine, okay. This is the last part of this small intestine, the ilium, that is going to be extends from the jejunum to the large intestine. Okay, next we'll see about this individually, the different parts of this small intestine. Okay, the first one is the duodenum. Okay, and if you see this, okay, duodenum, actually the name, it's got the name from the Greek word, okay, uh, that means that is a duodecatlos, which means that is 12 fingers, okay, which will be, okay, derived from this Greek word, actually it means the 12 fingers, okay, and this is a very short structure, okay, which is about 20 to 25 centimeters long, okay, and it is continuous with the stomach. And if you see the shape of this duodenum, it is a shape that is C shaped, okay. See in this picture, the tube like structure, okay, this tube like structure is known as the duodenum. It lies above the level of the umbilicus, okay, opposite to the first, second, and third lumbar vertebrae. Clear? So exactly opposite to this duodenum, you are having first, second, and third lumbar vertebrae, and it surrounds the head of the pancreas. Okay, if you see this leaf-like structure, this you will call it as a pancreas. Okay, this part you will call it as a head of pancreas. Okay, this is known as head, and this is known as apex. Okay, see this head is going to be surrounded by this duodenum, right? And this duodenum can again be divided into four parts, that is superior, descending, inferior, and the ascending parts. Clear? See again, this duodenum is divided into four different parts, that is superior, descending, inferior, and next one is the ascending parts of this duodenum. And okay, next, uh, if you see this duodenum, okay, which receives the gastric chyme. See, I already told you, only the partial digestion is going to be taking place in the stomach, and which is, okay, leaving, or which is sending the chyme into the duodenum, that is whatever the gastric chyme from the stomach which is receiving, okay, together with the digestive juices from the pancreas. See, that is the digestive enzymes and the, okay, bile juices that is coming from the gallbladder, that is bladder. Okay, see totally the digestion is going to be taking place in this duodenum. Okay, the digestive enzymes break down the proteins and the bile and emulsifies the fats into the muscles. Clear? See, the duodenum contains the Brunner glands, I already told you, which produces a mucus rich alkaline secretions, that is mainly going to be containing the bicarbonate ions. Okay, these secretions in combinations with the bicarbonates from the pancreas, that is going to be neutralizes the stomach acids that is contained in the gastric chyme. Is it clear? See, whatever the gastric chyme, this duodenum that is going to be receiving, if you see the pH is acidic in nature, so it has to neutralize the pH, see, by secreting some alkaline compounds. See, that's why the whatever these Brunner glands that are present in the duodenum, which is going to be producing this mucus rich alkaline secretions, okay, that is mainly the bicarbonate, which is finally which is going to be neutralizing the stomach acids, okay, that are mainly present in case of this gastric, okay, in case of the gastric chyme. uh, and if you see the duodenum blood supply, uh, mainly the arterial supply and the venous supply, if you see, the mainly two arteries, that is the superior pancreato, okay, duodenal artery, and the inferior pancreato-duodenal artery. Okay, mainly these two arteries which will be supplying blood to this pancreas, and the venous supply, if you see, the veins of the duodenum, that's going to be drains into the splenic, superior mesenteric, and the partial veins. Clear? And finally, if you see the veins that is going to be draining into the splenic, superior mesenteric, and into the partial veins. And next part is the jejunum. Okay, if you see here in that picture, the pink color part, the second part of the small intestine, you will call it as a jejunum. Okay, it's the midsection of the small intestine, okay, connecting the duodenum to the ileum. Clear? See that you will call it as a jejunum, and it's about 2.5 meters long and contains the plicae circularis and the villi that increases its surface area. Okay, see, as it's the middle part, if you see mainly which is consisting of the villi, see, in the because of the presence of the villi in case of this jejunum, which is going to be increasing the surface area. And if you see this villi which is okay, not present in case of the duodenum, okay, the presence of this villi which is going to be starts from this jejunum, so that which is having many folds to increase the surface area. Okay, and the products of digestion like sugars, amino acids, and the fatty acids are going to be absorbed into the bloodstream, mainly starts in this area. Clear? See, that means whatever the products of the digestion, okay, that's like sugars or amino acids and the fatty acids, if you see, these are going to be absorbed into the bloodstream, okay, mainly in this particular area, that is the jejunum. Okay, see, the suspensory muscles of this duodenum, okay, which marks the division between the duodenum and the jejunum. Clear? And here whatever the muscles, okay, that is some suspensory muscles will be present, okay, of this duodenum, that marks the division between the duodenum and the jejunum. Okay, next part of this small intestine is the ileum. Okay, it's the final section of the small intestine, and it's about 3 meters long, and it also contains the villi which is similar to the jejunum. Clear? See, and if you are comparing these three areas, that is duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, okay, the duodenum which doesn't have the villi like that of the jejunum and the ileum. See, because of the presence of this villi, these two areas which is going to be increasing the surface area. Okay, and mainly if you see this ileum area, which is going to be absorbs mainly the vitamin B12 and the bile acids, as well as any other remaining nutrients. Okay, the important nutrients, okay, that's like vitamin B12 is going to be absorbed in this part of the small intestine. Okay, and this ileum that joins to the cecum of the large intestine, mainly at the ileocecal junctions. Okay, I already told you which going to be ends at the ileocecal junctions, where it is going to be attached with the duodenum. Okay, see these the three different parts of this small intestine. Okay, and we'll see what is the difference between this jejunum and the ilium. Okay, see, definitely by seeing the physically, you cannot observe, okay, the difference between these two areas, but anatomically, if you see, there must be a difference between this jejunum and the ilium, right? And if you see regarding the location, okay, says jejunum will be present in the upper left part of this peritoneal cavity, and the ileum will be present lower right part of the peritoneal cavity. Okay, regarding the location itself, see, jejunum will be present towards the left part of this peritoneal cavity, and the ileum will be present towards the lower right part of the peritoneal cavity. Clear? And the appearance, if you see the gross appearance, regarding this jejunum, okay, there is a greater caliber, that is less than 3 centimeters thicker walls, okay, and more vascular it is, and it is coming to this ilium. If you see the lesser caliber, that is less than 2 centimeters, thinner walls and less vasculature. Clear? See, that means if you see, okay, regarding these two areas, okay, regarding the thickness of the walls here, if you see the jejunum, the thickness is very okay, high, that is very thick wall will be present in case of the jejunum, when compared to the ilium, okay, which is having very thin walls. And next, if you see the interior of these two parts, that is the jejunum folds, okay, that will be present, that are thicker than the ilial folds, and these jejunal folds are also more numerous and deeper than the ilial folds. Okay, and next coming to the mesentery, jejunum, which is having very less fat. Okay, that is longer vasa recta, and the fewer arterial arcades will be present in case of this jejunum. Okay, by seeing that picture also, you can easily understand the difference between the jejunum and the ilium. And coming to the mesentery of this ilium, which is having more fat and more arterial arcades, and shorter vasa recta will be present in case of this ilium. And finally, regarding the immunology, if you see the presence of aggregated lymphoid follicles, okay, that you will call it as a Peyer's patches, that is more prominent in case of the ilium when compared to this jejunum. Clear? See, that means you remember the pair patches that are going to be present in case of the ilium when compared to the jejunum. Okay, and if you see, there will be an intestinal juice that is going to be secreted from this small intestine. Clear? That is about 1500 ml are secreted daily by the glands of the small intestine. Clear? Uh, I told you the intestinal glands will be present. Okay, that intestinal glands is going to be secreting 1500 ml of intestinal juice. Okay, daily from the small intestine. Okay, which mainly consisting of the water, mucus, and mineral salts. And if you see the pH, which will be between 7.8 and 8. Okay, if you see it's an alkaline pH. See, among this digestive tract, only the stomach which is having the acidic pH, but remaining all, okay, the parts of this alimentary canal which is alkaline in pH. Right here, the pH of small intestine is between 7 and 8. And next, coming to the digestion in this small intestines, uh, enzymes, okay, mainly the different enzymes, okay, that are present from this brush borders of the small intestine. So that's going to be break down, okay, the double sugars into the simple sugars, or the complete, okay, some protein digestion is going to be taking place here. Okay, complete the protein digestion is going to be taking place in case of the small intestine. And whatever specifically the pancreatic enzymes, okay, see, that plays a very important role regarding this digestive functions. Okay, see, mainly if you see the pancreatic amylase, okay, that will be useful for the digestion of starch. Okay, and next one is whatever the enzymes like trypsin, okay, if that is secreted, okay, the protein digestion is going to be taking place. Here the protein digestion not complete, okay, that is half of the protein digestion is going to be taking place with the help of this trypsin. Okay, see, apart from that, which can some other pancreatic enzymes like lipase, okay, responsible for the digestion of fat, okay, nucleases, useful for the digestion of the nucleic acids, and also the alkaline content that is going to be neutralizes the acidic chyme. And next, coming to the absorption regarding the small intestine, see, water mainly is going to be absorbed along the length of the small intestine. Okay, throughout the length of the small intestine, the water is going to be absorbed. Okay, and the end products of digestion, if you see that is most substance are going to be absorbed by active transport through the cell membranes, and the lipids are also going to be absorbed by the diffusion. Clear? See, the end products of the digestion, definitely in that end products of the digestion, most of the substances are going to be absorbed by the active transport through the cell membranes, and the lipids are also going to be absorbed by the diffusion. Clear? And the substances are going to be transported to the liver by the hepatic portal veins or through the lymph. And next, coming to the functions of the small intestine, that is onward movements of its content by the peristalsis, okay, which is going to be increased by the parasympathetic stimulations. And next one is the secretions of the intestinal juice and completion of the chemical digestion of carbohydrates, proteins, okay, and fats in the enterocytes of the villi. And next one is the protection against infection by microbes, okay, that have survived the antimicrobial action of the hydrochloric acid in the stomach, okay, and also by the lymph follicles. And next one is the secretions of the hormones, that is cholecystokinin and the secretins, and finally it will be useful for the absorption of the nutrients. uh, okay, see, that's all, students, for today.